How you doing?
All right, it is 6:30 PM. Julie, if you call the roll, please.
Kara Caston. Ken Dawson.
Here.
Chris Espinoza.
Here.
Cheryl Fuller.
Here.
Jenny Hagstrom.
Here.
Terry Pavasich.
Here.
Don Renner.
Here.
Gianna Hunchie.
Here.
And Nala Mokath.
Here.
Thank you.
Okay, we have a quorum. Let's stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
First order of business. I need a motion from the Board of Education to approve the minutes of the August 21st, 2023 business meeting and the September 11th, 2023 workshop meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Moves, Ken seconds.
Thank you very much. Terry Pavasich.
Aye.
Ken Dawson.
Aye.
Chris Espinoza.
Aye.
Cheryl Fuller. Jenny Hagstrom.
Aye.
Kara Caston. And Don Renner.
Aye. Motion carries. Julie, do we have any visitors? No visitors? Turn this over to Dr. Thiele.
All right, we have a few information items. One is the administrator and teacher salary and benefit report. It's a state law that we are required in open session to inform the board that that has been posted to our website each year, and it has. The second one is an action item for this evening. We spoke with the board earlier this year about a partial settlement in the vaping litigation. The first half, or actually 2/3 of it, came from Juul. The second portion of it is from Altria. Altria, thank you. Gosh, I always stumble on that one. We have settlement details in the board packet tonight. This new settlement is for a total amount of $4,372. That gets partnered with the Juul settlement allocation. Total is $148,509. A third of that goes to attorney fees and other fees. So the total settlement amount that comes between the two halves is about $100,000. The Altria settlement is what is under the action for this evening. So what is recommended under action is to accept the settlement and authorize me to sign the accompanying forms that go with it. Any questions? All right. Tentative budget. Therese here to see if there's any questions on this. There's no changes since the last time we spoke last month. There'll be an opportunity for any visitors to comment on this under our normal protocols following Therese's presentation in the hearing. So with that, anything you want to pull out, Therese, or are we just taking questions?
So. Yeah, just take questions if anybody has any other questions from our previous meeting.
No, looking good.
And the key number we always point to is that the ending operating fund percent of revenues at 6.8%. Remember that under board policy. All right. Anything
Sorry, I forgot to turn it off.
for board policy, anything under 3% would cause us to take budget reduction measures. We're a long way from that. All right. Revenues are the same as last time.
Sorry.
Any questions for Dree on revenues? And then finally, expenditures are the same as last time.
I guess you did a good job the last time.
All right.
Well, we had pretty good discussion.
Yeah, we did.
last
Yeah, we had
meeting.
great
And there's nothing that
Right,
changed,
Right, there's no
so
changes, so.
it's just if something had popped in a board member's mind from last time to this time, or if we
Thank
had
you.
anybody that wanted to address
Thank
the
you.
board in the next portion of the evening.
Okay.
Freedom of information requests, we've received them, we've responded to them, and they're available on our website under recently fulfilled FOIA requests. All right.
Okay, on the public hearing for the 2023-2024 tentative budget, is there anyone in the audience who would like to address the board regarding the 2023-2024 tentative budget? Hearing none, we can move forward. Item number 7.
We need a motion to close.
We need
the
a
hearing,
motion to
please.
close the hearing.
Did we open?
Yeah,
But you announcing you have opened the hearing.
All right.
technically,
I was
yes. You opened
confused
it.
because
Yes.
I didn't see a motion open, okay. Then can I get a motion to close the public hearing on the tentative, or the 2023-2024 tentative budget? Or moved?
Second.
Cheryl moves, Chris seconds.
Thank you very much. Cheryl Fuller.
Aye.
Chris Espinoza.
Aye.
Jenny Hagstrom.
Aye.
Terry Pavasich.
Aye.
Kara Caston, excuse me.
Aye.
And Ken Dawson.
Aye.
Thank you. And Don Renner.
Yeah, aye.
Yeah, you too. Okay.
Okay, motion carries, we're closed, public
No.
hearing?
Close the public.
Public hearing, yeah. So moving to the consent agenda, before the board votes on the consent agenda, is there any agenda item or board member would like to pull out of the consent agenda for further discussion.
I'm sorry. It wants me to do my own.
Hearing none, can I get a motion for the Board of Education?
Before we do,
Yes.
just a thank you to the Bonfield Express Foundation for their continued support of our programming in accepting the donation this evening.
Thanks.
Can I get a motion for the Board of Education to approve the consent agenda as presented, which includes A, personnel report appointments certified, appointments classified, transfer of position classified, B, personnel report retirement administration retirement certified, retirement classified, resignation classified, C, July and August financial pages, D, student trips, and E, acceptance of donation from the Bonfield Express Foundation.
So moved.
Second.
Chris moves, Terry seconds.
Thank you very much. Chris Espinoza.
Aye.
Terry Pavasich.
Aye.
Kara Caston.
Aye.
Ken Dawson.
Aye.
Cheryl Fuller. Jenny Hagstrom.
Aye.
And Don Renner.
Aye.
Thank you.
Motion carries. Moving to items for action, item number 8. Can I get a motion for the Board of Education to accept the settlement offer for government entity claims against Altria as presented and authorize the superintendent to sign all documents related to the acceptance of the offer?
Second.
Terrell and then Ken, second.
Thank you. Cheryl Fuller.
Aye.
Ken Dawson.
Aye.
Chris Espinoza.
Aye.
Jenny Hagstrom.
Aye.
Terry Pavasich.
Aye.
Terry Caston.
Aye.
And Don Renner.
Aye, motion carries. Item number B, can I get a motion for the Board of Education to adopt the 2023-2024 budget as presented?
So moved.
Second.
Chris moved, Jenny seconds.
Thank you.
Changed it an hour ago.
Chris Espinoza.
Aye.
Jenny Hagstrom.
Aye.
Terry Pavasich.
Aye.
Kara Caston.
Aye.
Ken Dawson.
Aye.
Cheryl Fuller.
Aye.
And Don Renner.
Aye, motion carries. I don't think we have any old business.
Business?
Business with the Policy Committee report, the first reading.
Yep. First reading of this, we recently had a meeting here, and all of the policies we discussed and moved forward are here for first reading. All of the policies, except for 7.180, had revisions recommended by press that we reviewed. Most of these revisions are in response to legislation, new public acts, and the feedback. Majority of the changes fall in 2 categories. One are just minor, really grammatical changes and those kinds of things. The next group, there's a bundle of them that are in response to Faith's Law, which were a change regarding background checks and really in response to sexual misconduct and grooming and those kinds of things. And then there's one policy that is one of ours. We have several policies that are just District 99 policies, and we review those on a rotating basis. So the committee reviewed a batch of those as well. So all of these are linked in the packet tonight, the way that this works. Your committee members are Don and Chris, and I serve as the administrator on that committee. if you have any questions, we can answer those now. If you have questions or concerns between now and the next meeting, the three of us can take those from you and then come back with any recommended changes in October when we'll ask for these to be approved. So with all that being said, is there anything that a board member would like to ask about any of these at this time?
Should I just ask about the ones that are D99 specific versus state ones? Just why is that? Are there just specific things to our district that require, like, what would an example? And will we know in reviewing which ones are which? Is it clear?
I don't know if it's clear in this document which ones. It was when we sat down and discussed.
Okay.
Which one
Is
is
that
just
register,
ours
is
to
that
remember?
common for districts to have their own?
Yeah,
like,
it is
okay.
very common. Some districts, their entire board policies are their own.
Oh, okay.
Example would be all of our job descriptions, or would be an example of
Right.
policies. We have a policy description for
Could
every
you-
administrator's position.
Could you explain who press is and how we
Sure.
use them?
So PRESS is a division underneath the Illinois Association of School Boards that has a team of experts, including attorneys and their staff and administrators, that as laws and new regulations are released, both at the state and federal level, they review those and update any existing policies appropriately or issue new policies, or even, we've seen over the years, eliminate policies in response to legislation. Some are changes just due to changes in guidance from the Illinois State Board of Education. That's where the majority of them come out of. And then they review them, just grammatically changes, updates in just how we refer to things in educational jargon. Those kinds of things are updated. So that's, press is providing those recommendations about on a quarterly basis. We usually get a packet of updates. And then we consider all of those, then take them to the policy committee and review them, and then take them to you for review and then ultimately approval. Then there are these ones like Julie mentioned, things like all of our job descriptions, but then there's certain policies that are related to things that came up over the years that were District 99 specific concerns, in which the board directed the policy committee, and usually in cooperation with the administration and the board's attorneys, to put together a policy around something specific. We have a whole list of what those are and how frequently they're reviewed. We can send those out to the board so that they can see which ones those are. But that's kind of the whole process, and then it's just keeps going in a cycle. And if there's a lot of legislation one year, there's a lot of policies to review, and that has been the trend lately.
And we save a lot of money by being, subscribing to press, because otherwise we'd have to contact our attorneys every time there were legislative changes and have them write the policies. So school districts benefit by being a member of press and utilizing their template policies.
And it really helps between school districts. When I'm talking to my peers and something comes up, the fact that most of the school districts have relatively similar policies, if something comes up about, like policy 4.45 is here tonight, and I have a question about that, or a board member does, it makes it real easy to reach out to another school district and be like, tell me kind of how this works in your district, and what are the best practices you follow, and we're talking the same language usually around what that policy means. So it helps a lot for just consistency when we talk to our own attorneys, that we're working around that model language. But there are things where, over the years, we've made slight tweaks to reflect the values of our district. We don't always just accept what they send us. All right, any other questions? All right.
Julie, for our second reception of visitors, do we have any?
I have no slips.
We have nothing, sir.
Okay. And we'll move to communications and announcements. Jenny, can I get a report on Lend?
Nothing to report yet, but we'll have our first meeting Friday in person in Glenelg. So
Yeah, we're meeting with legislators on Friday, so that'll be good.
And then Dr. Thiele, or I'm sorry, should I turn this to Sherelle on SASIT? or
Probably
you s-
me, because
okay.
Sherelle won't have a meeting for a little bit.
Okay.
Although she'll have some work to do pretty soon. We, we have our Board of Directors meeting on Wednesday. The key pieces in that board packet, and I serve in that capacity, are preparing for the executive director search. Remember, we have 2 interim directors for this year. So really setting who will be on the actual small committee that leads the search. No matter what, I'll be on the larger committee that reviews the finalists, and so will Sherelle. But that's the biggest work right now. There's a few other things around personnel changes, some things related to capital improvement projects that they're getting underway. But the great majority of it is the 2 new interim directors reporting out on the start of the school year, and then us really looking at that executive search.
Yeah, and I did have one meeting, and that's what I was gonna share, but I figured you knew quite a bit more, considering I've only had one.
Oh, you did have a meeting?
Yeah,
I'm
I've
sorry,
only
I
had
didn't
one
mean to
meeting.
cut in front of you, Sherelle.
No, you're all
Anything
good.
you wanted to share?
No, I was gonna talk about the 2 interim directors, and I think we approved that in the
Yes.
last meeting, but again, I'm certain you had way more to share, considering that's
Sorry, I
my
stole your
very
thunder.
first meeting. Yep, it's all your thunder.
And then Ken, can I get a report on IASB?
Nothing really to report. Big meeting, annual conference in November. Hopefully everybody will be attending. Looking forward to that.
And then Terry, a report on the foundation?
Yeah, we're in the process of setting up the scholarship parameters for the Mark McDonald scholarship, and so that should be exciting. We should have it by the end of the year, and I know we've tried to get input from administrators who've known him, and working on getting that all set up. And then we had a big discussion about, we're working on our mission statement, maybe changing that a little bit because of the world has changed. And since we began 35 years ago, so we want to reflect what we're doing in the community for that. So, like I said, we're working on that. So that's basically.
Well, you guys, I know you did the food trucks one time, or maybe it was twice, but are you gonna do,
No, that was it was a great day. I mean, we couldn't have asked for a better day. But it just wasn't an opportunity to make money for any of our grants or anything. So, and we just didn't get the people out like Pizza Wars does. And,
back to Pizza Wars?
well, no, we'll see. We'll see. It's just, we only have 6 or 7 people on our board, so it's a lot of work for those 6 or 7 people. And, we've been trying to recruit more people, but it's a tough one to get people to come and volunteer.
We didn't take it offline, but I'm just wondering, are there any philanthropic opportunities for students to just participate in something like that?
Well, that's kind of what we're trying to
Okay.
massage our mission statement for, is because there are a lot of things that we're in the process of doing now that we've never done before. And so I think that is a big opportunity for our students if we wanted to have them help us and do different things. So.
It's just
Absolutely, absolutely.
you could talk to the NHS person because people are usually like fighting for service hours.
Yeah, we've used different organizations at both North and South to do Pizza Wars, and that was very successful. And the students really enjoyed being out there with the other families and stuff, but it just isn't working for us right now. I'll be honest, there's people that are burned out who've been on the board for, 15 years or so and doing all the work. It's really hard.
Are you making a public announcement for some volunteers?
Well, we've always had that out every single time. And a few folks have responded, and then they come to several meetings, and then they don't come again. So, they get busy with their own lives,
So out of this meeting, if any of our viewers are interested in joining the board, who do they
It
contact?
wasn't exactly a raving review.
No, who do they contact? Who's the best person?
Julia Beckman,
Okay.
and she's on the website. She's our president. And,
Website's D99EF.org. It's available off of our website as well.
This is a fantastic opportunity for the community to get involved and help make a difference in the lives of our students. So hopefully some energetic community members will step up and get involved.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And we are a fun group.
No doubt, no doubt.
As to upcoming board meetings, our October 2nd workshop has been canceled, so our next board meeting will be October 16th. As a business meeting here at the ASC at 6:30 PM. And then final item is we are going to be going into closed session, so I'm going to need a motion from the Board of Education to move into closed session for A, litigation when action against affecting or on behalf of the district has been filed and is pending before a court or administrative tribunal, or when the district finds that an action is probable or imminent, in which case the basis for the finding shall be recorded and entered into the minutes of the closed meeting. And B, the appointment, employment, compensation, discipline, performance, or dismissal of specific employees, specific individuals who serve as independent contractors in a park, recreational, or educational setting, or specific volunteers of the district or legal counsel for the district, including hearing testimony on a complaint lodged against an employee, a specific individual who serves as an independent contractor in a park, recreational, or educational setting, or a volunteer of the district, or against legal counsel for the district to determine its validity.
So moved.
Second.
Chris, second.
Thank you. Terry Pavasich.
Aye.
Chris Espinoza.
Aye.
Sherelle Fuller.
Aye.
Jenny Hagstrom.
Aye.
Kara Caston.
Aye.
Ken Dawson.
Aye.
And Don Renner.
Aye, motion carries. We'll be going into closed session. For the members of the public, we will be coming back out of closed session to just close the session. We will not be taking any further action other than to adjourn when we come out of closed session.
I just want to say one thing. Thank you so much at South High. We did Young Hearts for Life, and we screened over 1,500 students, I believe. Is that what my email said? And we did find a handful of students that needed to be rechecked and followed up with. So if Young Hearts for Life had saved a life, it was well worth it. And so thank you at South High. Everybody, it was a really wonderful day. And I know North, we're doing it on Halloween. And we're going to be wearing our costumes. So it should be another great day, and anything that saves our students' lives is an important day. So
Absolutely.
thank you. Thank you.
All right, we'll be back in here and closed in just a few minutes once we turn the room around.